Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to talk about who's behind all of this, or what is behind all of this. Who's calling the shots when it comes to this abduction slash hybridization program that some researchers believe is a real thing here. It's really happening. People like David M. Jacobs, he's written books called The Threat, as well as books like this, Walking Among Us. This book's 10 years old now, believe it or not. And in these books, Jacobs, and there's other researchers too that talk about these alien creatures that abduct people. A lot of these people are abducted on a regular basis throughout their entire lives, and apparently they're harvested for their DNA. Basically, for women, there's eggs removed. For men, there's sperm is removed, and they create some sort of alien hybrid out of it. That's what they've been up to all these decades, it seems. But the question comes down to it, like, which one is in charge? Now, according to Jacobs, he believes that these insectoid creatures, they're the ones calling all the shots. They're the ones behind this. And is that true? I mean, he doesn't know for sure. That's what he thinks based on all the research that he's conducted, all the people that he's interviewed, all the people that he's put under hypnosis. What he got out of all of this after decades and decades of research is that these insectoids, they're the ones calling the shots. They're the ones who are in charge of this program. My question is, though, is there something maybe above them? Now, I did talk about this before in an episode, I don't know when, a year ago or months ago. I don't even know. I've done so many episodes now and talked about so many different facets of this phenomenon. I'm losing count, actually. I'm losing count about how many different things there is to talk about this. It's very fantastic. It's so unbelievably interesting to me. I think that I can't believe, actually, that more and more people aren't talking about this kind of stuff. I mean, it seems like right now a lot of people are worried about drones over Europe. To me, right, I mean, yeah, okay, it's somewhat interesting. It's just a side note, though. Is it extraterrestrial? Is it from Russia? Is it from China? All that kind of stuff. I mean, to me, right, it's almost like a shiny object. It takes your focus off what is really important, I think. I mean, we should know by this point. There's enough evidence here that we should know, everybody should know by this point, that there's something here with this. I mean, maybe the drones are ET/NHI, maybe they're not. What does it really matter? We know that there's something here. We've talked about the evidence on this channel, just this channel alone, how many times already? I mean, you've seen it. If you've been paying attention to this podcast, then you know we're not alone. Okay, maybe the drones could be something, but what does it really matter? I mean, to me, right, we're focusing on the wrong things. Sometimes I wonder if people are just putting out these shining objects so it takes our focus away from what's really important. See, the issue what I have, if Jacobs is correct, this is along with some other researchers, but Jacobs, to me, right, he dug into this deeper than anybody else. I just feel that way, right, based on the books that he's written and that I've read. It seems like he would know more about this than anybody else because he's one who's been working with all of these abductees over the years, right? So that's how I view this. So I think we need to take what he says and take it seriously, because who else out there really has done something like what he has done? And if what he's saying is true, that means there is this group of aliens led by apparently insectoid kind of aliens, these tall insect kind of beings. They look like praying mantises or ants. They're the ones that seems to be in charge. And then after that, there's tall grays and reptilians. Tall grays seem to be the ones responsible for medical procedures, and they're mostly overseen by these insectoid kind of creatures. And then after that, it's the short grays. They seem to be charged with menial kind of labor, basically getting the abductee out of their house or car or wherever and escorting them to the ship, and then that's about it. But you have to wonder, is there something above the insectoids perhaps that we don't even know about yet? I mean, there really could be, and that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, first off, I put a little chart here together based on what Jacobs has put forward. He had different kinds of tables in his books. Like in this book here, he had a table listing all the different kinds of beings, different kinds of aliens, and then also the different kinds of hybrids in their different stages. So that's what I want to talk about first. So on top of this scale is the insectolins. He calls them insectolins. They're the insectoid/mantid creatures. They're tall, praying mantis-like beings with elongated heads, large black eyes, and thin bodies. They're rarely seen but clearly in command. And it says here for their role and function, they're strategic planners, the ultimate authority over the program. They direct all the others, the Greys, the Reptilians, and the hybrids. And then we have Reptilians or reptoid beings. Now, in Jacob's book, Walking Among Us, he talks about how he believes it's possible that these reptilian creatures were actually, they're reptilian hybrids. They were taken from other intelligent beings, reptilian beings from a different planet, similarly to what's happening here now, to a planet that the Insectoids apparently already conquered, for as crazy as that sounds. And he thinks that it's possible that these reptilians that people see are actually hybrids of a creature that came from a planet originally that was conquered by these insectoid creatures. That's one of his hypotheses with regard to this. It sounds crazy, but that's what he says. But anyway, with regard to what they do and what they look like, they're tall bipedal beings with scaled or leathery skin. There's not a main focus of Jacob's, but it's present in some of the accounts that he's talked about. Their specialized functions, possibly security, enforcement, or oversight under the insectoids. And then next on the list here is the tall Greys. They're like the leaders or supervisors of these medical procedures that occur on these spacecraft when people get abducted. They're 5 to 6 feet tall. They have more refined features. They oversee the short Greys and hybrids. They perform medical procedures, examinations, and major program tasks. And then, of course, we have the short Greys. They're considered workers or technicians. They're 3 to 4 feet tall with large heads. They perform technical tasks only. They escort the abductees. They handle equipment. But they're not involved in the medical procedures, apparently. Now, some people believe that these Greys, all the Greys, just like the Reptilians, the Greys, the tall and short, that they could be biological robots, that they're genetically engineered just for the task that they're performing, and perhaps by the Insectoids. We just don't know. It's all guesswork right now. And then, of course, we get to the hybrids. There's early stage hybrids. They're very alien looking, right? But they do have some human traits. I mean, they might have a few blonde hairs sticking out of their heads, but they still have the big black almond eyes. I mean, that could be the early kind of experience. When they first delved into this, maybe that's how they turn out. When they're doing this experimentation, trying to create these hybrids, and these were apparently, I don't know if they were rejects or they did it on purpose or was just a work in progress. Who knows? And then there's these middle stage hybrids. They're more human-like, but there's still something wrong with them. They don't look human. You could tell by looking at them. And apparently what they do here, it says training to function on Earth. They act as go-betweens for abductees. And then, of course, there's late-stage hybrids. They're nearly indistinguishable from humans, but they retain alien capabilities like they have the telepathy and all that working in their favor. They work closely with hybrids. Hybrids are the final stage of the hybrid. We'll get into that in a second. And they act as support and liaison for the hybrids. And then advanced hybrids or security hybrids. Jacobs talks about this too. These are highly integrated hybrids, sometimes indistinguishable from humans, but with stronger abilities. They provide security and protection for the hybrids on Earth. They ensure compliance of abductees. And then finally we have the hybrids, fully integrated hybrids living covertly among humans. They form relationships here with people on Earth. They acclimate to Earth, and they're embedded in human society. And of course, the human beings, that's us. We're on the bottom of this pyramid here. We're the only. We just provide genetic material and socialization opportunities for the hybrids, according to Jacobs. So that's this table that he put together. This is just this ain't the full table. This is just a short version of it. I just took some aspects of it and put this together. But so there we go. That's what it seems like, right? And see, this is why we need to be talking about. We need to be talking more about these kinds of things rather than just the UFO sightings and that they pose danger to aircraft when they're in the sky. I mean, if what he's saying is true, we got bigger problems than crashing into a UFO. Way bigger problems. That means they're all integrated into our society as we speak right now. What are they up to? Are they going to take over at some point? Who knows? I mean, that's probably what it would be, right? Now, according to Jacobs, sometimes these abductees are shown images, movies, right? Where they see scenes of destruction, and then they see themselves along with other hybrids helping, herding people on the flying saucers before the planet explodes or something, and they're flown away. Things like that. Scenes of destruction. And if you remember the Ariel School incident from 1994, in Zimbabwe, there was a flying saucer landed, alien creatures exited. Over 60 little kids, elementary school kids, saw this. They witnessed this with their own eyes. A handful of these kids, several of them, were communicating or they were at least receiving telepathic messages from one of these alien beings. And what was it doing? It was showing them scenes of destruction in their minds. And basically with the idea that technology is going to lead to this. Basically, technology is bad. That was the message, and they were blowing everything up. Okay, this is why we need to be talking about this. Everybody, not just a few guys sitting in some skiff somewhere in some underground desert facility. No, everybody needs to be talking about this. We need to try to figure out what's going on with this, right? If this is in fact what's happening. I really hope it's not, but I'm not the one who did the research. David M. Jacobs did it over many, many years, along with other people. This is really happening. And I know that there are aliens are real because I encountered one myself in my bedroom when I was a kid. So I know that there's something going on. I have no memories of being abducted. I never went under hypnosis. I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to know any more than I already do. But I think that we all need to be talking about this. I think it's very important. Not just some guys in an office somewhere in a triple security skiff, right? That's not the way this should have been handled all these decades. Now it might be too late for all we know. But again, I guess my question comes down to this: is there something above these insectoid creatures, or did they evolve on some planet somewhere and they just, now they're just taking over worlds? Is that what's happening? And our world is next on the list. Is that what's happening? I mean, maybe we might have been getting monitored for centuries, who knows how long, by these creatures, and then when we start getting out of hand during World War II with the Holocaust and then dropping atomic bombs, and maybe it was like, okay, this experiment here, whatever is going on, it's not working out, like I was talking about in the previous show. Maybe they realize, okay, we need to do something about this. And now, so what they're doing is maybe they're planning on saving some of us. Maybe some of these images that they placed in people's heads is what's going to happen. They say that there's going to be some kind of a big change coming in the future, right? And what does that change? Maybe the planet's going to, burn up, and all human beings are going to be killed, right? And then maybe just a handful of them will get saved by these creatures and brought somewhere else for who knows what purpose. Good, bad, who knows? We just don't know. But this is why everybody needs to be talking about this kind of stuff and not wondering whether a drone over some military facility is alien or Russian. What does it matter? We already know that they're here. We should be talking about this kind of stuff, but nobody wants to. They want to focus on trying to get the government to tell the truth about the UFOs, the slow disclosure to the public, okay, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I don't really care. I'd rather be talking about this. I think everybody should be wanting to talk about this. This seems to be much more important, right? I mean, we know that they're here. You've seen the evidence. How many times do I got to show it on here? I mean, did you see what happened in Vegas? There's no question about it. But then, again, it comes down to this. Is it the insectoids who are in charge? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe something was decided a long time ago on some distant world. Okay, we need to do something. We need to, absorb this planet. We need to take control of it. And maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's why there's all these hybrids living among us now, allegedly, right? People, you wouldn't know the difference. They could look they could look just like a regular human being, but they're not. They're here they're sprinkled among us for other reasons. Are they trying to really figure out how we think and how we operate? What's going on here? For what reason? Or for what reason? And what's this change they're talking about? Right? Why are they very concerned about our technology? Are they trying to send us the message, hey, you're getting out of hand. We're going to have to do something about it. Is that what it is? Are we being warned, perhaps? There's a lot of different things we need to be thinking about here. And it can't just be up to a few people sitting, like I said before, a few people sitting in some skiff somewhere. The whole world needs to be thinking about this. Every scientist in the world needs to be tackling these questions. So that's where I'm at with it. But here's the thing. We don't even know. It's possible that these insectoid creatures, right? Maybe they're working for someone else. Maybe there's something out there that we don't even know about yet. Maybe on some planet there's some artificial intelligence that's running the show. Maybe the life forms on some distant world, they're all extinct now, and this artificial intelligence is just creating genetic creatures and sending them out to do its bidding for some purpose. And that's what's going on. It's some computer on some world right now that's barking out all the orders. Could be something like who knows? Maybe some disembodied heads in glass jars of some sort of a weird alien organisms that's controlling the shot from some, in an incredible number of light years away somewhere. We don't know, right? All we can do is guess. We don't know because the stuff that our governments know, they're not sharing with us. That's the other thing. See, this is the problem when you cover things up like this. We have all these questions, and all we could do is speculate very wildly. Do they know more? Is there something that they could offer to at least get everyone up to speed here to where reality really is, rather than having to wildly speculate like this? Or maybe there's something coming here that we can't even imagine, something so horrible at some point is going to show up and we couldn't even dream it up in our worst nightmares, and that's what's going to happen. Or maybe everything's going to be hunky-dory and it's all going to work out in the end, and the reason they're being secret, they're just being nice so they don't scare us. Maybe that's what it's all about. I don't know. That's why we need to have government involved and tell us the truth already, instead of just pretend like you don't know anything. Especially when we see the evidence right in front of our face. I think the world could handle this. Yeah, there'll be a few weeks where people will be upset. Okay, I get it. But you know what? It's time. It's time for the rest of the world to know about this. Not just people like me, right? Not all these UFO researchers that have been banging the drum for all these decades and, more than half the world doesn't listen to them. Right, when in actuality they're the ones who have the real dope on this, right? They're giving us real information. How about Ted Phillips all those years doing all those, investigating all those physical trace cases and finding the evidence, showing the evidence? How come the mainstream news never wants to talk about these things? I mean, the evidence has always been there. We're just ignoring it for some reason. I actually also wonder, maybe we're all under some sort of alien control. And maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's why we can't talk about this as openly as we should have been talking about it a long time ago, right? We should have been talking like this back in the 50s and 60s. Look, we're still 2025. We're still wondering whether these drones over Europe are alien or Russian or Chinese. I mean, who cares? What does that matter when you know for a fact that there's something here? There's bigger fish to fry, most certainly. I'd like to know, though, who or what is behind all of this. Is it somehow insect life, like ants somewhere on some other planet, evolved somehow like and became intelligent, and this is where we are now? This is what they've been developing, creating genetic creatures to handle this, whatever they're up to here. These little grayish, tall grays to handle everything, and they stand in the shadows, barking out orders. Sometimes they say that they're seeing some of these insectoids. They wear robes with really high collars, according to Jacobs, right? Apparently those have more power than some of the other insectoids. There's a lot of questions without any answers. That's the bottom line here, folks. And we really need to get to the bottom of this instead of playing these games. I mean, how much more evidence does anybody need at this point? I know there's a lot of voices out there that keep saying, "Oh, there's no evidence." They keep trying to sow doubt in people's heads all the time. These debunkers, these unknown people that comment on Reddit and right here on my channel. Sometimes though, you'll see all these comments from people. You wonder, didn't he not just watch this video that was just presented? All this evidence. I mean, how could this person say something so stupid like that? It's because they know there's going to be a certain percentage of people out there that see those comments, and then the seeds of doubt will be sown into their brains because they know people are stupid. There's a lot of people out there that have the attention span of gnats, right? And they just, they're living off TikTok and watching, 30-second videos and then going on to another video, and they're just living frenetic lifestyles, and they don't really pay attention. They don't stand around enough to let it all sink in. And then the rest of us are trying to explain to them, hey, this is real, and we're being lied to not only by the government, but these other people for reasons unknown. Who are all these people? Who are all these debunkers constantly trying to tell us that there's nothing to this? Or that you don't see an alien when you're looking at it right out? Wow, I mean, what was Mick West thinking when he said raccoons and coyotes were in. That's what was responsible, probably, in the Las Vegas case. When you look at it and you see with your own eyes that there's aliens in there, right? I mean, so some of them try to tell us that the Turkey UFO videos, like some debunkers, they like to do this one. They'll say, "Oh yeah, it was a cruise ship. That's what it was," and you're just seeing the captain and his mate there standing on deck. Right? When you're looking right at it, and you see an alien face. That's what it was. Those videos from Turkey that were filmed in 2007, 2008, 2009, those videos from Turkey, right? They were examined by experts, video analysis experts from 4 different countries, and they came to the determination that they were not faked. They were real. There was truly something anomalous in the that we see in those videos. And when you look at those videos, you see flying saucers, right? Flying craft hovering out over the Sea of Marmara. Right, and you also see in some instances the beings inside, and in one of the images you could actually, it looks like it might have been the middle of an abduction, because it looked like there was some person in a prone position with 2 small grays or 2 tall grays, whatever, standing on one side of him, and on the other side it looked like there was a praying mantis alien. So I think we have enough evidence at this time to really start wondering what the hell's going on here. We need to start thinking about this and talking about this more openly. I mean, I don't know, could this be leading to some disaster, or is it good? Maybe it's a good thing what they're doing, but I don't know that. I think we need to be talking about this openly rather than just, again, a few people behind closed doors secretly and not telling the rest of the world. The whole world needs to know about this. It's that serious. Read these books. Pick up books by David Jacobs, Walking Among Us. Read The Threat. That book was from what? Published in 1998. I mean, these books are old. They've been out there for a long time. We don't know how long this alien plan is going to take till it reaches the final phase here. I mean, maybe we have time. I mean, we should, if it is real, I don't know if it is or not. It was only one person, David Jacobs. But again, he's the only one who's ever really done any kind of research like this. How come there's not any more scientists out there looking into this and talking with people who are getting abducted by aliens on a regular basis and hypnotize them, trying to figure out what the answer to this mystery is? What's going on? What do these beings want? They, from all the information that Jacobs has gathered, that seems to be something they don't want to tell us. They're up to something, but that one little nugget, we don't know for sure. We could only speculate. And he could only speculate, but he thinks they're trying to take over the planet. That's what he thinks, the ultimate goal here, right? That's what he says. I just think that we need to be taking this a lot more seriously than we have been. And I'd like to know more. Apparently these insects are in charge, but maybe there's something above them. That's another thing too, like people talk about Nordics. Sometimes the people see human kinds of creatures when they get abducted. Like, for instance, when Travis Walton got picked up by aliens back in 1975 in Arizona, when he had his experience. And when he came out of it, he saw these weird creatures in a room, and he freaked out, right? And he got out of there. They left, and then he got out of there, and he walked into another area, this craft that he was in, and he saw what looked like a real person. But was it a real person? It looked like a regular person. He said if you would have seen him somewhere in the street, you wouldn't think twice about it. You have to wonder, was that a hybrid or a hybrid? Was that a half alien, half human creature? Or was it perhaps a creature in disguise? I've seen one alien abductee on a documentary one time saying that he was face to face with this apparent alien creature, but it looked human. But when you looked from a side view, from a profile, it looked like there was like a holographic image in front of it, and it was really a reptilian. Maybe reptilians use some sort of a holographic mask to hide themselves. Something weird's going on here, folks, and we're not talking about what we really need to be talking about. Yeah, drones are fun and everything like that, but there's other bigger fish to fry when it comes to this phenomenon that we really need to start taking seriously. Anyway, I just want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me today. Until next time.